In today's video, we're going to look at a topic that's really important for anyone who wants to improve their communication skills in English. How to have better conversations. Whether you're a professional, a student, or just someone who likes to chat, hopefully these tips will help you navigate your conversations with confidence and ease. Conversations have always been a big part of my work. I used to work in mental health, and conversations were key in building connections and building trust with people. Now, of course, I work with people who want to improve their conversation skills, speaking English as a second plus language. While I've had many conversations in my life, I don't profess to be an expert on conversation. However, I have read a lot of books on the subject. This is just a few of them. And these are some more. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that reading books can make you a better conversationalist, but I think it can make you more aware of how to actively engage in good conversation and to be a really good listener. I'm going to make a video about some of these books at some point, particularly this one, which came out this year, called Super Communicators, and also this old classic, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. But for today, I'm not going into sort of the details of these books, but I will put a link below to some of these recommendations. I'm going to split this video into 5 sections, and the first thing I want to talk about is about listening. The ability to listen is at the core of any good conversation, but it's surprising how many people struggle to listen. It means giving your full attention to the speaker, maintaining eye contact, and responding appropriately, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Listening can be difficult enough in your own native language. In a foreign language, it can be even more tricky. Something that I sometimes practice with my students is something called reflective listening. Reflective listening is paraphrasing what somebody has said to you to show that you understand. It's a good way of showing that you're paying attention, but it can also clarify any misunderstandings. You could say, so you're saying that, and then paraphrase what that person has said to you to make sure that you've understood correctly. I'm not recommending that you paraphrase everything the other person has said to you, but I think it's worth it with key points and when you think they're saying something particularly important to them. I'm going to talk in a minute about how body language plays a role in good conversation. But for now, I just wanted to mention that I think paying attention to somebody's face while you're listening can give away vital clues about the importance of what that person is saying. By watching their expressions, you can get clues about how important that particular fragment of information is to that person. Obviously, you don't want to stare at the person and scrutinise their every sort of facial movement, but at the same time, being observant and paying attention can give vital clues. Listening is really key to building connections as well. People love being listened to. Think about a conversation where somebody has seemed interested in what you're saying. It makes all the difference. The second thing I want to talk about, I just mentioned before, is body language. Gestures, facial expressions, and your posture can convey interest and enthusiasm in what the other person is saying. And of course, when you're speaking yourself, these things can make the conversation more engaging and lively. A simple smile can make a huge difference. It conveys warmth and openness, and this in itself can help to break down language barriers. and immediately makes interactions more comfortable. Sometimes when I meet a new student in a conversation class, this is all online, I won't see their smile for, a good 10 or 15 minutes into the lesson, because they'll be anxious. They'll be wanting to understand me correctly. They'll be concentrating hard. And when they finally smile, it's an instant icebreaker. And it makes me feel more comfortable too. I often find that connection in conversation comes when you break a smile, when you relax, when you let somebody in a little bit, and maybe show a little bit of vulnerability as well. In speaking a second language, you're putting yourself often in a vulnerable position, and this can sometimes be reflected in your body language. When I speak my second language, I think I hunch my shoulders and I tense up a little bit. I think taking a minute to just physically try and relax yourself can make a difference. On the subject of body language, I think it's also worth mentioning that it's quite important not to overstep the mark and invade somebody's personal space. Obviously, with the work I do with students in conversation classes, this isn't an issue because it's all online. But in real life, it's something to be aware of. And I think it's especially important when meeting strangers for the first time and engaging in conversations. Obviously, it's good to be friendly and warm, but it's not good to invade that person's personal space. Everybody has different boundaries, but on the whole, I think it's sensible to be more reserved. The next thing I want to talk about is making the other person feel important. Again, I think this is key to good conversation. Listening and then asking relevant questions shows that you've been listening, and it shows that you're interested in what somebody is talking about. Open-ended questions are questions that require more than a simple yes or no, one-word answer, and they keep the conversation flowing. Using somebody's name in conversation is also a powerful tool for making somebody feel respected and valued. The next point I want to make is about sharing personal stories. Now, I'm not saying that you should share your complete life story, but little anecdotes and little stories can make conversations more memorable and relatable. They provide a sort of context to the conversation. Sharing little personal stories and anecdotes can help you connect with somebody on a deeper level. Another tip here is to be authentic. Don't pretend to be somebody else. Be yourself. And if you're a little bit vulnerable, if you give away a little bit of personal information, that's fine. But maybe don't overshare. People like it when you're true to who you are, and they can usually detect when you're pretending to be somebody that you're not. Finally, I'm going to recommend that you're patient with yourself and with the other person. Don't rush your words or interrupt. Be reflective and think about what you're going to say. Patience shows respect and makes for a more thoughtful conversation. So be patient and practice whenever you get the opportunity. And don't be afraid of making mistakes. Nobody is judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. So that brings today's video to an end, but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about what makes a good conversation in any language. As usual, you can find all the information covered in today's video over on the website. I'll put a link below. Thank you for watching to the end. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to watch more of my videos, make sure you subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Take care and see you next time.